Hi, and welcome to Tuesday Techniques. Today we're going to learn how to use the copyright watermark we made last week in an action or batch. In the Essentials workspace, the action panel is not visible. So the first thing we need to do is go to Window on your menu bar and open the Actions panel. If you've never opened this panel before, it will only show default actions. The production and watermark folders are ones that I've created. I highly recommend that you get organized right off the bat. Don't simply create actions and put them all in the default actions folder. And before you start writing your own actions, make sure to check the ones that Adobe already gives you. Simply click on the flyout menu, and you can scroll down to this group of common actions that Adobe already gives you. To load them, all you have to do is find the group you want and click on it. And as you can see, Adobe gives you a lot of common actions in the Image Effects folder. But today we want to make our own. So I'll click on the triangle to collapse the folder and go back to the flyout menu and create a new set. That's simply the folder that you're going to put your actions in. And I'll just call it Demo for today and click OK. Next, we need to write our action. So go back to the panel flyout menu and click on New Action. Name it something that's going to make sense for you. Since we just created the demo set, that's the folder Photoshop assumes we want to put the action in. But if you want to change that, simply click and choose a different folder, and then click Record. Now we need to place the copyright symbol. So go to File, Place Embedded. If you're using an earlier version of Photoshop, you might only have the Place option. Navigate to the folder where you keep your copyright file, and again, I suggest you put a Stay Put folder on your desktop so it's easy to find, and select your copyright symbol, and click Place. And I'll just click Enter or Return to place the copyright. Now I think the symbol's a little overpowering the way it is right now, so I'm going to my Layers panel and I'm going to decrease the opacity to something a little less distracting. Now I need to go to my Layers panel flyout menu and click Flatten Image. At this point, I need to stop recording by clicking on the Stop button at the bottom of the Actions panel. Now let's see if this works. I'm simply going up to the History tab, and I'm going to click on the original image. Click back on the Actions tab, scroll down and click on the watermark action, and press play at the bottom of the Actions panel. And it works. So I'll just close this. I don't want to save any changes. And now I'll go to File, Automate, Batch. Depending on the version of Photoshop you're using, this dialog box may look a little different, but they all have the same options. First, you want to go to the Play area. Now, since we just wrote this action, Photoshop assumes we want to use it. But remember, you can always click on the set to use an action from a different folder by simply clicking on it. But I'll go back to Demo. The watermark action is the only action in that folder right now, so my Play area is set up. Next, we want to find the source folder, and I need to choose this one. You want to navigate to wherever the file is, and in this case, I've just put a folder called Job on my desktop, so I'll select it by clicking OK. I do suggest that you check the Suppress File Open and Color Profile warnings. And I also suggest that you log errors to a file, and you can choose to save these anywhere. I just have Photoshop save it to my desktop, and I call it Batch Error, but you can change that by clicking on the Save As dialog box. Finally, we need to go to the destination. You have several options here. I caution you to be very careful here, and what I recommend is you make your destination a folder that's not the original folder where your files reside. It is extremely easy to accidentally overwrite your original files, and I've done this before, which is why I recommend you do your batching this way. Put a folder on your desktop or somewhere else on your computer and call it batch. Run all of your batches to that folder, so there's no chance you accidentally overwrite the originals. You can always take the images from the batch folder and put them wherever you need them. You can also change your file names at this point. You do need the document name and the extension, but you can also add serial numbers, dates, whatever else you'd like to. And finally, click OK. As you saw, there were lots of different sizes and ratios that I ran that batch. So let's make sure it worked. I'll go to File, Open. I need to navigate to my batch folder. And I'll open them all. And you can see that the copyright symbol was put on every file in the center and scaled down to match the individual ratios. I hope this has been helpful. Please join us next week for an all-new Tuesday Techniques. Happy Photoshopping!